if anyone is able to come, and we can start talking about Eurovision. So, I wanted to do this stream today to talk about everything Eurovision, all the artists that I liked, talk about my favorite songs, and what I thought of the winners. I was planning on having this stream going on my laptop so I could share my screen and it would be better, but it just isn't cooperating. I got a new laptop, which is great, but it's not connecting to things that I needed to connect to. But it is great for things like playing games, and that's the main benefit of this laptop is I get to play Tomb Raider or other games that I haven't played. In addition to liking music, I've always been into certain video games. I've never been a massive I'll play every single game kind of gamer, but like Tomb Raider, Assassin's Creed, Portal, Batman games, these are all things that I like. But that's besides the point. The point is, I wanted to share my screen so we could look at Eurovision stuff together. But although we can't do that, I think we can still talk about everything. Oh, I was just talking about how I got a new laptop and I can't hook it up to like my headphones and streaming and everything. And I was originally planning on doing that and sharing my screen, and we could talk about Eurovision and like I could show you this videos that I'm watching, but I was just rambling, basically. But we can still talk about all of it, and I think that will still work. Um, Let me see. Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out because now that I have the new laptop, I feel like I have more like opportunities to do better stuff with video and streaming. I think it is better because of the copyright. Not that I'm making money off of YouTube at this point anyways, so I'm not worried about that, but I don't want it to be like taken down in the middle of it or whatever it might be. But next time, I'll work on it for next time. I just got home like 10 minutes ago because traffic was so bad for some reason. Um, so I didn't have time to mess around with it before, but next time. But we can still talk about Eurovision. We can talk about all the acts and everything. Yeah, we can just get right into it. I don't really have anything else to talk about right now. But yeah, we can just start talking about it. So, did I watch the semifinals? No, I didn't have time. So, that whole weekend, I was at a wedding. So I did end up watching Eurovision. They got married the day of Eurovision, so I watched it later that night after we got back to the Airbnb. But I didn't have time to watch the semi-finals, but I watched some clips and stuff. But I will say I do tend to like to be surprised and watch the entire performance the day of for most of them. I just feel like the performance adds a lot to it. Like there are some songs I didn't really care for on the recordings, but when I saw them live, they just had like a cooler element to it. I don't know, but I'm not sure. Was there anything that happened during the semifinals that was um I got that you want to wait, but there's some good songs that didn't make the final. I actually, okay, I did listen to some of the songs because I listened to like the Spotify playlist that had all of the songs, and I listened to a few of them, and two of the ones I really liked were not, they didn't make it to the finals. I think the band, I don't remember which country, but the band was called the Buskers or something. And then I think there was one called, let me pull up my internet here so I can say the right ones. Malta. Yeah, I like them. And I also liked, I think it was Ireland. I think that was the other one that I liked. Which were the ones that you liked? Because I didn't listen to all of them. Um, Let me see. I think it was Ireland, but I can't. I mean, I know there are some countries that automatically make it through. I totally get that, but it is kind of sad to see a song that's not as good get through to the finals and really good songs not. Which one was Netherlands? I'm trying to find like. just a list of everything. Maybe I will start watching those, or at least listening to them. I don't know. Maybe what I can do next year is watch just the day of, and then afterwards I can watch the performances for people who didn't make it, so I get the full thing. Let's see. Netherlands. I can't remember who that was. Oh, yeah, that's cool. It is, we are able to watch it in the States. And just the same way we watch like the actual Eurovision thing. So it's like on streaming, really easy to get. I just typically haven't watched it, but I think that would be fun, especially now that I've been watching Eurovision consistently for like the last few years. Because in the past, I've just like listened to songs or just watched clips, but now I'm actually watching the whole thing every year. Sweden is the best at hosting. I'm excited for them to host because isn't it like the 50th anniversary of ABBA? Is that right? That sounds like such a long time, but maybe that's right. But regardless, I know people are really excited for Sweden to host it. I guess we can start talking about that, with Sweden winning, and that was really controversial, apparently. I get why people were a little like, I don't know, they would like wanted their favorite to win or whatever, but I don't like, it wasn't a bad song that won, so I feel like people were really vicious about it, which was kind of silly. Each winner is controversial. Yeah, I guess I can see how that happens. Like the last 2 years, well, I guess Ukraine, when they won, people said it was like just because it was Ukraine, but I actually liked that song. Um, this is the first time since I've been watching consistently that my favorite hasn't won. Like when I say consistently, I mean watching the entire show. So this is my third Eurovision where I've watched the entirety of the show. And this is the first time my favorite hasn't won. Um, so it's a different perspective. People are freaking out because she didn't win the public vote, but most people act like she was last place. She was second, for God's sake. Okay, I feel like you're not going to agree with me, or maybe you will, but my favorite was, actually, I had two favorites. Finland was one of my favorites, and Norway was my other favorite. I think I was mostly rooting for Norway to win, and I think they did pretty good. They got sixth place, I think. Um, but actually, Tattoo was one of the songs that I was saying, like, I didn't really care for it when I heard the recording, but the live performance added a lot to it, and I liked it a lot better. You hated Finland. I thought you wouldn't like it. I don't know. I don't know. There's something about that type of song that just works for me. Like, it reminds me of this band called Baby Metal, and they kind of did that like screaming like metal part of the song, and then it went to like a very poppy place. Also, Poppy, the singer, she's done that kind of thing. Um, Get the appeal of Norway, though not a fan of the vocal style. I can get that. It's not my favorite vocal style, but I really liked the performance. Australia did a good job. I think so too. I feel like they deserved more. What did you think of Germany? Because I really liked them, and I feel like they deserved a lot more than they got. Like, I don't think they deserved to be. Were they last, or just close to being last? Because I think they deserved better. I think even if Finland, I mean, even with, what am I trying to say? I don't think Sweden would have been uh, that far down, even if the audience vote counted for a different percentage. I felt bad for her when she won because I feel like she should deserve to be, like, she deserves to be celebrated for being, what is it, the second person to ever win Eurovision twice. I feel like she should get to enjoy her moment, and people are just asking her questions about Finland, which I felt bad. Some people think Germany was robbed, but no, yeah, I mean, I don't think they were robbed. I just think that they Maybe it deserved better than England. Maybe. I don't know. What did you think about England's song? I don't think she cares too much about the hate. Yeah, she seems very zen. Like, I love her vibe. I don't know. I've just in all the interviews, she says like the most positive, wonderful things. You like the UK's entry? You know what? I like it a lot more on the recording than I did in the live performance. Yeah. See, this is why I can't decide if it's better to just listen to the live performances or also listen to the like I don't know which one's better to do first because some people are so much better on the recording and some people are so much better when they're live. Maybe it's just the answer is to do both because that was one I loved the visuals for England's performance. I thought they were super fun. And I don't know. I just loved that. And I thought that I don't know, the recording was pretty good. She seemed fun. I liked her. The song on its own could have been like 15 with a better performance. Yeah, the vocals weren't great. Yeah, it just sounded like empty. I guess like it didn't sound complete. I felt bad for her too. Like she seems really cool. And it's a fun song, but I just kind of just judging off of the live performance, it just didn't. Why didn't they add more backing vocals? Yeah, that was like I think that would have made such a big difference because any shortcomings in her vocals would have, blended into backing vocals and could have just fixed the main problem I think everyone had with it. Um, but it was a fun song. Cypress without backing vocals. Cypress. That was one of the ones where like the postcard or the video thing before just made me giggle. I don't know. They were I don't even know how they chose to do those. Although like everyone was doing sports. I don't know. It was like 1 in the morning when we were watching it and we were drunk after the wedding and the way he like was holding the basketball and like looked and the way he peeked around it and like smiled at the camera just made us all laugh. He was playing basketball. I don't know why that made us laugh, but it did. There were some that were there were whoever rode the motorcycle, I think it was Italy, also did that. Cyprus was adorable. I thought he had looked like he was having a great time. I love when he came out at the beginning where they all come out with their flags. He had just a little flag and he was just smiling so big, but I didn't really care for it either. But I mean, there wasn't any songs that I thought were like bad, I guess. Just maybe the performance wasn't what I would have preferred. Um, you're shocked he was top 10? Yeah, I think so too. Let me see. Okay, here's the list of the full. My least favorite in the final. I don't know if I had least favorites. It's more like the ones that were forgettable to me, like the ones I literally forgot about them afterwards and I couldn't remember them. Let me think. I feel like maybe Portugal was the one where I was like, I just wasn't feeling it. It wasn't bad, just not my thing, I guess. Who else? I think Italy was like, yeah, Italy was the one where I was like, it's just not my thing. Let me see. I can tell you which ones I definitely thought deserved higher, and one of those was Albania. Like the song was good, but the performance was so fun. I really liked it. Hmm. I mean, I don't know. Was surprised, I guess, that Croatia did as well as they did. Like, I thought the song was really fun, but uh, I don't know. It's interesting how people vote. Like for a song that's like, oh, it would be like a song on its own do really well, or like the performance and the Eurovision of it all is what people are voting for. But I don't know. Albania, I guess this is a thing when you just listen to the performance because the performance was so cool. Like I loved the costumes. I I'm a sucker for like really fun costumes and dramatic zooms. Like that's a thing. I want to have a Eurovision party next year really bad, and I want to make Eurovision like bingo or a drinking game or something. And one of the things I'm going to include is like that really fast dramatic zoom in on someone while they're singing. I don't know. It's not something I see very often in TV, so I notice it in Eurovision. I'm trying to like just make everyone around me care about Eurovision. Um, so that next year they'll all come watch it with me. So, yeah, it was so after the wedding I went to on the 13th, the entire bridal party and their spouses or plus ones were all staying in the same house. So I just put Eurovision on the big TV, and some of the people came and watched it with me, and I was like, okay, we're establishing some Eurovision fans. So there was one girl at the wedding who had flown there all the way from Scotland. Like she was really good friends with the bride, but she flew all the way from Scotland, and she was like, I let her know, like let the bride know, I really love you because I'm missing Eurovision for this. So she came up to me at one point during the wedding and was like, well, I got the news, Sweden won. Like we were talking about it all night, which made it really fun. And there was one other girl there who I think she had studied abroad in Norway or something. So we were both kind of rooting for Norway. So I think it's getting bigger here. Like it's been accessible to the US, like to watch since the 70s, I think. But I think within the last few years, like people know about it a lot more here. People are up to date with it. So it's kind of fun. And I can see how it would be so fun to watch with like a huge group. Like, I think that'd be really fun. My coworker was talking about it, and he said he was in Iceland like a couple years ago when during Eurovision, and he said he went into a bar and like everyone was intently staring at the screen, and he was like, I have no idea what's going on, but it was Eurovision. American Song Contest did get canceled. I don't know if you watched it. I watched it all and listened to all the songs. And my conclusion, like in a sentence, was that there were some amazing singers and acts on that. Like I really liked the music that came out of it, but the format of it just didn't work because I did a like a weekly show for like 2 or 3 months. So every Monday, this was last year, I don't really fully remember, but like every Monday or Monday and Tuesday or something like that, they did a show with like 10 acts. And then the entire you watch them and then you waited the entire like until the next Monday, and then you watch 10 more. And then by the time it got to the end, like it didn't have that excitement that Eurovision has. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't really care about American football or watch the Super Bowl, but it feels like one of those big events that everyone waits for all year. It's really exciting. And, even people who aren't like the biggest fan of whatever it is, like will tune in and watch it. Like, that's what I think to be successful, the American Song Contest had to be like that. Like it just had to have that, like it's an event. It's not just like a weekly thing you tune into and don't really care about. But it's a shame because there were some really good acts on there. Like some I still listen to some of those songs, but I don't know. It was random though. Like Michael Bolton of all people represented Connecticut, and everyone was like, "Huh, all of these like unknown artists, and then Michael Bolton's here for some reason." But I think that happens to a lesser degree in Eurovision. There's like not everyone is like an unknown, but I love the idea of it being an event. Like that's what I'm going to try to force all my friends to do next year. Um, we'll see how it goes, but I have a year to get everyone ready. So, like my idea, the only idea I really have so far, besides bingo or a drinking game, is to make everybody pick a country and like bring a food item from that country when they come, like have it be a little potluck with food and stuff from everywhere. I think that'd be really fun. I don't know because I don't have particular loyalty to a country in Eurovision. I just like the music and everything, and I pick my favorite just based on the music. Like I don't pick it based on the country. Um, but yeah, I have no idea. Not even the UK. A little bit. I like the UK because I thought they did a good job hosting, by the way. What did you think of the hosting? I thought it was pretty good. I don't know. I thought they did as good of a job as they could of including Ukraine. Maybe, you know, they could always do more, but I think they did a good job. I liked the Liverpool songbook, that performance, that medley by uh, past winners. I thought that was really lovely. And You'll Never Walk Alone always makes me tear up. So, and it did during Eurovision. Because, like, it's a beautiful song. And it's also, like, really important to my dad because he's a Liverpool fan, like the football team. And that's like, their big thing is the song. And also, it's from the musical Carousel. And I love musical theater. So it kind of hits all the points that make me emotional. But it was a beautiful performance. It was fun to see everyone from the past. Not everyone, but like a lot of people from the past. I don't have that connection to the song because obviously it has nothing to do with my country. Hmm. Kind of emotional somewhat. Yeah, it's beautiful. And also like so his singing great. But then when everybody else walked on, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that always gets me." I don't know. Like the concept of Eurovision, everyone coming together over music is just emotional to begin with. I only know the song because Lana covered it. Oh yeah, she did. I found like I bought that on vinyl, that 7 inch, and I guess she's a Liverpool fan, which is so random. But a lot of people in America are like Liverpool fans, which I mean they're one of the bigger well-known teams, but it's still so random. My dad's not even from Liverpool; he's from London. I don't know why he picked it as his team, but it's been his team since he was like 6 years old. Really curious on your thoughts on Austria since it's my country. Oh yeah, Austria. Okay, I really liked Austria. I thought they kind of had a disadvantage by like starting the show and the performance wasn't like I don't think it wasn't one of the more exciting like performances, but the song itself, if we're just going by song, was one of my favorites, honestly. Like it was just really fun. Running Order killed it. Yeah, I don't know where like it could have been to do better, but performance of Too Many Wine Shots. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I mean. Like it was too like it was just here's the stage, just watch it. And I think they could have done a little more, like maybe more, I don't know. I don't know what they could have done. I'm not an expert on staging, but it's a really cool song and it's really funny and I liked it a lot. But I just like wanted more. If not, it definitely needed a more colorful staging that would have made the song better. Yeah, I I think it's interesting because so I was watching their TikToks, um, the girls who did that song, and they were talking about how they met at a Eurovision songwriting camp or workshop or something, and I just thought it was interesting. Like learning more about how countries select the person who goes there and like what a big deal it is. I just think it's fun. Like the idea of a songwriting camp. Like it made me think of Camp Rock, but like obviously better and real. But I love the energy of that. I liked them both though. I thought it was interesting that they met like while writing that song. Like meeting somebody and then immediately writing a song like that. You guys got to get along like on a different level. Some countries do shows to find entry. I know Italy does. And then I think England just picks. I know there's some that's a vote. I just think it's interesting to see how different places pick. and like how that could affect how well the song does. I think Spain last year, they select through a concert, I think. They choose the best one. I was wondering about the UK. So I wrote a song. It's a catchy song. It's everything. But I was like, how do they pick this? Because I've never really heard of this girl. I don't know how they do it. Um, but honestly, besides all the music and everything, a thing I love about Eurovision is watching the backstage stuff of all of the artists like becoming friends. Spain always has a contest. I don't know if I told you this, but I read on Reddit, there's a subreddit called Hobby Drama where people will do write ups, like really detailed write ups about some kind of drama happening in a niche hobby. And somebody did a really good write up about Chanel, was that her name, for Spain last year, and how it was apparently controversial that she won. And like they talked about the dynamics and the way the fans reacted. It was really interesting, actually, because I don't know. That's something I would have never known about. I thought it was really good. I liked that song a lot, actually. What did Spain do this year? Each winner of every show is controversial. Yeah, I think that's just people just get mad a lot when people win things and they're not the person they thought should win. But I look at Eurovision like, wow, look at this. I have like however many new songs to learn about. And like, look at this. There's this amazing new playlist. People are so bad. She got so much hate. Polish. Oh, Poland this year. Um, that song Solo, is that what you're talking about? Did she have connections? I actually really liked that song. Everyone was talking about it. Like every TikTok comment section or on Reddit, people would make all these comments about her or the song. And I know nothing about her, but the song was really catchy and I liked the performance. I expected to hate it so much based on comments, but then I heard it and I was like, I'm kind of turned into a meme. Maybe I should be more involved in the Eurovision before like the actual show because I miss out on these memes. The way she sings Baby. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people pronounce things like differently in Eurovision because there's so many different like languages and accents. There are videos ranking her saying baby. I actually thought it was fun. There's something another like drinking game or bingo thing is when they put text on the screen, like when they do graphic overlays on like the TV screen to integrate into a performance. Does that make sense? And they did one for hers, I remember. She had a dress on the red carpet with baby on it. Oh my gosh. So she was like in on the joke, I guess. Good for her. She embraced it. Nice. I think that's what you have to do in situations like that. Oh my gosh, she's really young. She's 23. I guess it's not that young, but I don't know. I'm old now, so when I see someone born in 1999, I'm like, "Oh my gosh." She's only ever had two songs. Good for her. I think every contest like this, people say it's rigged. Yeah, everyone's pretty young, right? Like, I mean, there are a few that are older than 30, but I think Joker Out was one that I thought they were a lot younger than they were. Joker Out was I listened to them when they were announced for Slovenia and I loved them immediately. Like that's the kind of band where if I was 15 when I heard them, I would have just gone crazy over them. But I thought they were so much younger than they were. Like some of them are in their like I don't know, they're like 22 to 25 age range, but I thought they just have baby faces. Most people got so excited about Joker Out. I really like them. I don't know. I thought they were going to do better too. Like, what place did they get total? 21st. Like, I sort of expected them maybe top 15 or something, maybe even top 10. It's interesting how the ranking turns out. I don't know, but I did really like them. Hmm. Oh, Moldova, that's the one. I was just looking at the song name. I was like, I can't remember who that was. That performance was wild. There's Lithuania. Oh, I thought her the song I don't really like. It was fine, but Lithuania, like her vocals were really strong, I thought. Like she sounded very professional. And then I was reading about her, and I guess she's like represented Lithuania before. She's like really been trying to be in Eurovision for so long. So I'm glad she had a chance to like do well at it. 11th place. I think that's pretty good. Um, above Cyprus at 12th. Moldova. Yeah, it was just it's one of those where the songs like but the staging is like really interesting. Did it have pyro? I can't remember, but when they have pyro, I love it. Croatia. Um, it was like fun, but this okay, the song, yes. I think that might be my least favorite song, but the performance was just so funny and fun to me. I was like, I need to show people this. I showed my dad that performance. I was like, look what's happening at Eurovision. Um, but I guess I get that there's a meaning behind the song. I just didn't. You were kind of disgusted. I get that it was like, mocking dictators, and I get that there's like a meaning behind it, but it just, I don't know. It didn't matter to me as much. I don't know. What is like it is fun for me sometimes to look up the bands that meaning didn't matter to anyone. I always look into the meanings of songs, but I don't think it like I don't think people care about that at this like for Eurovision. Maybe in the long run they do, but I think it's more about like the performance and how it sounds and everything. I guess they've been like doing this uh, style of music since like the 80s. That's just their thing. Wow. Okay. They sound like they have some interesting music videos that I don't want to watch. Thoughts on Spain? Oh, I think I liked it, but it wasn't kind of something I like, but it's also annoying. That's kind of how I feel about it. Like, it's a cool song. I like the style, and I like the like celebration of culture. I like it when songs for Eurovision do that generally, like when they, I guess, don't try to be too like Western or something. I don't know. Many fans were shocked that it only got 5 points from the public. Oh, that was last with the public. Huh. What do you think? Like, I guess I don't know what I think would have been last with the public, but I don't know that I would think it was that bad. I don't think it was. What did it get overall? 17th? I don't know. That was one of the ones where I don't know. It got 100 points overall. Um, what do you think of Serbia now that I'm looking at this list? They did they didn't get many points at all. And I was kind of surprised by that. Like, I don't remember the song as much, but I remember the performance, and it was fun. Like, I thought he did. I really did expect Serbia to get more points overall. I don't know. He got mic wasn't loud enough. Yeah. It is unfortunate when singers and songs and everything, they're like, production issues count against them or like make their performance worse when I didn't like the wide shots. Yeah. I guess, France 2 years ago, I can't remember her name, but I remember like the camera work of that performance was really good. And I feel like I don't know how they decide. Like who decides? Does the artist get any input in how it's filmed? Or is that entirely on the hosts and like camera people's side? Because I think that can make a really big difference too. But I don't know. Hmm. But I did think he would get more votes with the public. The delegation makes all decisions. Hmm. It just seems like unfair. Like I get it, but it like seems unfair that some people just have like the coolest camera work and some people don't. I'm also like a sucker for an emotional story. Like, at the end of Joker Out's uh, performance where they all came together at the beginning of the stage and bowed together, like that made me. But you have to pay for what? For LED like lights? Like I actually did learn that recently about how there's a budget. Like each artist is working with a different budget, which is crazy to me. I mean, like on one level, I guess it makes sense, but also like that just doesn't seem fair. Yeah, I assumed pyro cost, but I just assumed there was maybe some stuff that was like built in. Most countries don't use it. That always brings an interesting perspective. Yeah, like the like LED, like that doesn't seem like if it's pyro or stunt or something like unusual, the country has to bring in, like that makes sense that it costs extra. Like, how do they decide the budgets? Does each country just have something allocated for that? I'm so intrigued for artists. Ooh, okay. There's an article that says Eurovision by the numbers, the real costs. I just want a list, really. Oh, okay. The cost of a Eurovision ticket. Um, that's not that crazy. I mean, it's expensive, but it doesn't surprise me. So the jury rehearsal costs, okay, euros. I have no idea what the conversion rate is, so I'm just going to say it in euros. And you can tell me if it's a lot. Jury rehearsal starts at 115 euros to 315. Um, so I don't know, but in dollars, that wouldn't be that crazy. That would, to me, not be bad at all for a show that big. I mean, like I'm paying more for Taylor Swift tickets, but I don't know. So that's around, they're talking about oh no, wait, this isn't helpful. This is just about how much it costs to go. I want to know how much the artists spend. This is so hard to find. I'm just nosy and I want to know all of this behind the scenes stuff. I also just love behind the scenes, like productions and stuff. Let me see. This is about the 2016 one. But maybe it has some. Uh, I guess like the stage, each country that's hosting decides to do like certain types of stages. So some, I guess Stockholm did offer LED floor and backdrop lights in their stage, where the last time Sweden hosted, they didn't. I don't know. Hi, how are you? We're talking about Eurovision. Um, we're just talking right now about like how much it costs each country and each artist to go. But if you have any Eurovision thoughts or anything music related, feel free to share. Happy to talk about it. Um, I love all of the aspects of Eurovision and the performance and the watching, but I really like the production side. I think that's really interesting. It's not something I know a ton about, but it's just interesting how these big shows work. Specifically, according to the decision posted on, I don't know how to say that, I'm sorry, ERT's participation fee in the 67th Eurovision Song Contest amounts to 150,143 euros. Jeez. That's wild, actually. I mean, I know, like, for a lot of countries or for a lot of like big companies or whatever, that's not that crazy of a budget, but like that sounds like so much for most countries. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I can imagine it's a real challenge for a lot of countries. Like, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Greece a few years ago or Portugal, but like their set was really basic, and people were talking about how that was why. Oh yeah, Taylor Swift announced Speak Now Taylor's version. Why were you the last to find out? I have Instagram notifications turned on for Taylor Nation and Taylor Swift. But you know what? I haven't pre-ordered the record yet because I don't know. I just didn't. I feel like it'll be available in stores, so I'm just gonna wait. But I am really excited for that. I'm excited to see what she does. I don't know that much about Speak Now era um, vault tracks or potential vault tracks, so I'm pretty excited to see what that ends up being. And I always felt like Speak Now was a very pop punk kind of album, or like the closest she got to pop punk at least. Like Better Than Revenge is very like Fall Out Boy to me. Um, so I'm excited to see if some of the songs lean into that a little more in the vault tracks. Speak Now is one of my favorite title tracks. I really like it. Speak Now just reminds me of like a really nice era of my life, like I don't know, end of high school, end of my teenage years. I like the title track a lot too. I don't know which one's my favorite, but Speak Now is definitely it's maybe one of my favorite albums. Maybe? I don't know. It's so hard to decide. If you know me, I always talk about Fearless being one of my favorites, but it's so hard to decide because I like everyone for different reasons. Oh, I have these next to me. So I never heard the album, so for me, it's like a new Taylor Swift album, kind of exciting. Fe Fearless grew on me so much. I'm glad. I'm glad that you like. I don't know if you appreciate as much as I do yet, but I'm hoping you start to understand like where I'm coming from when I say love it. Sparks Fly is also amazing. That's absolutely one of my favorite tracks on that album. Maybe my favorite. It's up there. You know, Sparks Fly, I remember before Speak Now came out, I had I think it was like a live recording of Sparks Fly. It wasn't an official recording. And I remember being so desperate for her to release that on like a professional recording, and then she did. I remember being so excited about that. I'm kind of scared of Speak Now. It seems to be more country than Fearless. I think maybe in some ways, but I think in other ways, like I said, it has that like pop rock kind of vibe. But I don't know how much she'll lean into it, but I feel like she could have leaned into it more, if that makes sense. So that's why I'm thinking the vault tracks might be more along those lines, which would make me very happy. Um, because I love that. I love that side of Taylor. I'm disappointed, I guess, for the Eras tour that she's only singing, I think it's Enchanted from Speak Now. Like she's not giving it an equal amount of time, which makes me sad. You have a broken leg and ankle right now? What happened? I hope you're healing well. My fiance broke his arm like a month ago, and I've never broken a bone before, but I've witnessed how difficult it is. So I am sorry you were going through that. You had to have surgery. Oh, that sucks. I hope that means it's you had the surgery already and you're on your way to like healing. I know it's like a waiting game, like waiting for all that to happen, but I hope it gets better. A leg is rough, like to break that. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll down. If you don't care about the vinyl color, you could get the Target vinyl once they have the 3 for 2 promotion. That's probably what I'll do because Target, I feel like Target always has a sale on books and vinyl and like movies or whatever, and that's usually when I go. I've been buying some vinyl, but I've slowed down a lot. So I want to have at least one copy of every record by Taylor, but I don't variant collect anymore. So um, they didn't have a sale for a long time. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I have the Target app and I live near like 6 Targets, like literally I'm within 30 minutes of at least like 6 or 7 Target stores. So I feel like I always am seeing those sales and hearing about it. You got out of bed, you slept on a mattress on the floor and you fell. Oh, that sucks. That is that is rough. Like I said, I've never broken a bone, but I've like hurt my toe. I've like sprained. I was gonna say fractured, but sprained my like toe, and it really hurt. You're healing well. That's good. I hope the surgery wasn't like too crazy. My fiance didn't need surgery, but like I know that it can happen. In case you come across red, blue banisters on vinyl, let you know. It's searching for new copy. Okay, I will for sure. Yes, I always check the vinyl section, even if I'm not like buying anything. Every time I go into Target, I'll walk by it and look. So I will look out for that one specifically. There's one or two of the Target stores near me that always seems to have like those hard to get records. So next time I go, I will go there. Usually, like with so many Target stores near me, I'm able to find them. But I haven't been looking lately, but I will look for you. Definitely when Speak Now comes out, I'll be looking for those records. But speaking of Taylor, okay, so I don't know if you know this for the Eras tour, people are making friendship bracelets to trade. And I went kind of crazy and made a bunch of like friendship bracelets. Oh no, this one fell apart. I'm not that good at making friendship bracelets, I guess. But I made some that were like this one says, like you can't see it, lavender haze. I don't know if it's like turning over. It says lavender haze, I promise. Uh, I made, which was my favorites? This one's one of my favorites. It says Wonderstruck. Mm. I tried to pick like color palettes that worked for each one. This one I like a lot. It says the Eras tour. So I'm still like trying to come up with ideas because I'm at the point where I'm running out of letters. And like I really hope that you know, I can come up with a few more because it's for me and some of my friends, and hopefully we will be able to give some away and stuff. You should wear the Eras one. Absolutely. Like some of these I'm like I want to keep these. I want to wear them after and during the show and stuff, but some I'm like I'll trade them. I don't mind. But it's really fun. It's like very soothing to make bracelets. But I don't know. I'm excited. That's like 3 weeks away for me. 16th of June, I'll be in Pittsburgh seeing Taylor Swift. I'm really excited, but I'm like very overwhelmed by massive, massive crowds. So I'm a little bit nervous, but love that I always find creative ways to express myself. Thanks. I do too. I like that. I love like art and things. I've been trying to do that more because I've been trying not to, spend money and stuff as I prep for a wedding next year. Um, but I've been trying to like use the art supplies and make it so buying art supplies isn't the hobby, like buying and using them. How am I going to survive 3 hours at the Taylor show of like the crowds? I am going to sit down during part of it. I keep hearing like horror stories of people being jerks at Taylor Swift shows and like harassing people who are sitting down or saying they're not real fans. And I'm like, listen, I am 30 years old and I am tired and I don't need to validate my Taylor Swift fandom to anyone who would be mean like that. Like I don't know. Also, even if I wasn't 30, I don't think age has anything to do with it. Just like sit down if you want to sit down. Don't wear high heels. Do Taylor attracts the worst people. I think that's like a side effect of just being as like globally successful, unfortunately. And I'm a Taylor Swift fan. You guys know. I talk about it online, but I don't like interact with Swiftie communities very often. I think a lot of the people are mean and competitive in weird ways. I do like the Taylor Swift subreddit on Reddit. Those people are typically more rational for the most part. There's always going to be people who take it too far, but right now it's so annoying because everyone's so mad at her for apparently dating Maddie Healy. Um, So people are really aggressively upset about it. Reddit is like for the smart people. I hope that's the reputation because it used to be for like the incel crowd and like lately Reddit has been better about letting those things on there. I don't even bother with Twitter. Twitter stands like I'm scared of them and I think that they're mean and I think that if I say one wrong thing, they will like find out everything that I've ever done in my life and like harass me. I'm so scared of Twitter. It's it's too much. I don't even like post on TikTok anymore because people are just like really mean and I'm sensitive. Taylor gets so much hate. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess Maddie Healy has said some things that are kind of iffy. I can't, I don't have it in me to get that worked up about it because I don't know her. It's kind of how I feel. Like, if she was my friend, I would say something. And like, I don't know. He seems like kind of a douche, I guess. Like, he doesn't seem like somebody I would want to date, but I can't like bring myself to get that worked up about it. That's the thing also when I say like, "Oh, I don't like him that much. I kind of wish you would date someone better." I literally mean it at its face value. It's like a passing thought and then I feel nothing about it. But then there's some people who say that and they get so invested and it's bad and it's not healthy for sure. Because I know people were writing like open letters to her, which is interesting. I mean, like, who cares? She's not going to listen to us anyways. I think it's valid to like talk about concerns that people have that he said. Like, people can be like, oh, this was bad that he said that. And it's like, I think it serves as an educational thing in the sense that, like, we can have a discussion about it as a society and learn from it or whatever. But I don't think we need to like write open letters. I actually didn't read the full open letter, but I saw mentions of it a lot. I'm gonna look it up. Taylor Swift open letter. Oh gosh. Embarrassing open letter to Taylor Swift. Ugh. I just we don't know her. We don't know her at all. It doesn't it just doesn't matter. Wait, I do want to read it though because I'm the Twitter account behind the open letter has been deleted. Oh my gosh. I want to see it. Why is it hard to find? I hate it because then you find articles where they like, oh, wait, maybe I have seen this. And I didn't read it because I was like, that's too many words. Okay. Oh, hashtag speak up now. I just read that as you said that. Oh my goodness. He's been in it's talking about Matty Healy. He's been involved in acts and controversies that deeply trouble us. I mean, like I said, some of the stuff he said I don't think is great. But I think that, I mean, I don't think everyone has done things as crazy as the things Matt Healy is like accused of doing and all that stuff. However, I think that every single human being, if our lives were under a microscope, would have done something cancelable. That's my controversial take or hot take or whatever you want to call it. But I think if put to the test, every single one of us has done something that could make somebody want to cancel us. Just because humans are not perfect and like, I don't know. My point is, I think people have really high expectations that aren't rational. I don't know. Like when people want to cancel people for stuff they said on Twitter when they were teenagers, I'm like, I I don't know. Like it just seems really silly to me. Like it's really kind of cruel in my opinion, and people say things all the time that they don't mean or they don't mean it deeply. Like just because somebody makes a joke that's bad, it doesn't mean they believe that in their heart and soul and will never change. I don't know how to explain it. Like mostly the teens that are invested. Yeah, that's I mean, that's why I don't like post on TikTok anymore. Like the people who get really upset about stuff are either like teenagers who are like still learning, like they're learning things that are wrong, so they, are really passionate about it, and that's not as bad, but I don't know. I mean, I as I look through this wild letter, I guess my conclusion is like Taylor's a pop singer. Like she's not an activist and she's not really like I just don't think that she needs to do much more than she already has. I wish she would do like a little bit more about stuff like the drag bands and stuff because she's worked with so many drag performers, but that's a separate, like, specific thing. Kind of amazed that Taylor still manages to attract such a young audience in her 30s. I was thinking about that. Like, her audience, like, the average age or like that group of teenage Taylor Swift fans has not like reduced in numbers. It's just that now she's gotten a lot of more older fans because those of us that were teens when she started are now like in our 30s, which is really interesting to me. That's what I was saying earlier about like the like mean Taylor Swift fans at the Eras tour. I'm like, I I've been a Taylor Swift fan longer than you've been alive. Like, don't be mean to me. I don't know when her hype started. Yeah, I don't know. She wasn't that big like a few years ago. So this is just my understanding of it. I've known and been a Taylor Swift fan since like the first the beginning because like I just remember like when her first album came out and stuff and being really into her. I remember like a lot of people knowing about her, making fun of her a lot at the time, but I think it was 1989 where the big like hype started. And then of course she got overexposed and then the Kanye stuff happened and then Reputation came out and then people were like starting to like her again and then Lover came out and people stopped liking her as much. And then Folklore came out. And that was the big start of Taylor Swift as being hyped and also being like a critical darling, I guess you could say. Like Folklore was just objectively a good album, I think. And even without knowing, I think it was Folklore, like just in the sense of how I've watched people change how they talk about her. I think it was Folklore. I don't know what you've witnessed from your perspective, but like, I guess Reddit as an example, there was like an Ask Reddit thread where, someone asks a question and then everyone replies to it. And there was one that was like, what lyrics did you find were like, or like that blew you away or whatever. And somebody talked about like the lyrics from This Is Me Trying, where she says, I was so ahead of the curve became a sphere, that whole part of the song. And people in the comments were like, wow, yeah, those really great lyrics. Like, who wrote that? And people were really impressed with it just on a critical level, not so much uh, Not so much just it's because it's Taylor Swift. Like people thought it was good without knowing it was Taylor Swift. Folklore's just like I think it's just objectively good. Like it's maybe I don't know if this makes sense, but like it's the first album of Taylor's that it doesn't need to be a Taylor Swift album to be critically acclaimed. Does that make sense? Like Reputation is to me a really great album and I love it, but so much of what I love about it and had that emotional impact is because of the mythology of Taylor Swift that she like has done such a good job defining. But Folklore could have been like she could have put it out under like a fake name or something and it would have been great. But like so much of her music is like tied into being her. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't know. Folklore stood on its own. I don't know. I really liked it. I don't know. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I think it's absolutely like her best album. Folklore didn't need anything. Yeah, like it was just so unassuming and it just was good. The other albums kind of needed drama or something. Rep is still your favorite? I think so. Midnight's is up there. But again, like I don't know how much of Midnight's I would like if it wasn't for all of the mythology and lore of Taylor Swift herself, and also just my own emotional impact to it. Like, I feel like Folklore was good without the emotional impact. Fearless is entirely my emotional connection to it. Like, I do really like the album, but it absolutely um, is the nostalgia. Midnight's is kind of a mixtape. Yeah, I think that for sure. That's. I will say this: the first time I listened to it, I didn't I mean, I liked it. I just like I didn't care about the song Lavender Haze the first time I heard it. I didn't think it was that good. But now I really like it. It is funny how these things can change over the years or whatever. I saw they put out another uh vinyl variant for Midnight's, like the Love Potion Pink or whatever the heck it was. Um, I wish they would just do the like 3 a.m. tracks on vinyl. Like that's all I actually want. Or Hits Different or something. Probably just a Target one. I saw someone say it was the Canadian version. I don't really know exactly, but it's like it's not that different from the Target version. I don't know why it takes that long to do the 3 a.m. one. I don't know why she wouldn't have assumed that people wouldn't want that. Like they made so many freaking copies of Midnight's the standard version. They couldn't even like make one special pressing of the 3 a.m. tracks. I mean, like, if I was in charge, I would have made that a record store day thing, maybe. I don't know. She sold out Long Pond Sessions. Yeah, I don't know. I know people had a hard time getting it in some places and stuff, but it was I liked that there were such a large amount of copies. I think that was really good. I don't like it when stuff is super limited edition and hard to get and therefore expensive. I just I don't have it in me to like fight for records anymore. She needs to press more next time. She needs to I feel like since Folklore though, like Folklore was a little rough at first, but since Evermore, she has always had like one version of her records that doesn't sell out immediately. Like it's been so much easier to get her records, and I appreciate that so much because I want them, but like I said, I'm not like fighting for them the way I used to, which does make me kind of sad to not be as into collecting vinyl as I once was, but I'm happy to not be spending as much money. Folklore took ages to sell out too. Yeah, I think like some variants went faster than others, but there were a few like that indie record store exclusive or whatever that I don't think I ever saw it sell out, which is good. I don't think these things should, I don't know. The reason I don't like it is because it, drives up the resale cost and people can take advantage of the situation and like charge so much. And I always tell people there wasn't an indie one for folklore. I thought there was. We t Wait, are we talking about the same album? I thought there was like the brown one that was only in um, record stores. What am I thinking of? I haven't even clicked the second page of this open letter because the first page was like hard enough to handle. Oh my gosh. Ugh, just the standard one. Oh yeah. I feel like that was the version that was sent to like record stores to like be sold in stores. But I think that's different. Pressings change color with time. And I know that there's not, there's always going to be variations in records, especially when they're like those ones, when you held them up to the light and the patterns and whatever you can see in them, they're never identical. Because how could they be? But this letter, it's wild. They act like she joined like a bigoted organization and became their president or something. No, I'm curious though. I like want to, I'm skimming. Change takes time. Oof, that's rough. That's a rough. It's so, I mean, I don't know why people, I don't know. It's very quick though. Like it's very soon after her breakup. But like again, I'm not here to judge. I think that's why some people who don't have as much relationship experience are like shocked by it. But I swear, like she probably just got broken up with and was sad and just wanted to hook up with somebody exciting and interesting, and that's who she picked. Why can't people just have a flirt? Yeah. I I just figured he was like, I mean, maybe he'll be more than that. Like, I don't know anything, but I figure she just wanted to rebound. He's not that pretty. Yeah. I mean, if I don't know. Like, I guess I don't know what her dating pool and dating options are like. Like, I don't know. I feel, I don't know. I'm sure Joe is like relieved to not be in the spotlight as much, though. I don't get the appeal of Maddie Healy. I don't either. I kind of like some of their music. But I'm pretty indifferent to them as like a band. Like I wouldn't try to go see them, I think, but I wouldn't change the station if they came on the radio. Like, I don't know. Your sister loved them. They're like, I remember they just make me think of like 10 years ago when I was on Tumblr because they were really big on Tumblr. There were so many like pictures of people holding 1975 records and stuff, and it was on like grunge aesthetic Tumblr. Like those days, I kind of miss. That era of Tumblr is iconic. Hi, Charlie. What have I been up to? Well, m- not too much actually. Well, I'm getting married in a year, and I picked a wedding venue, so that's been really fun. Saving up for that and for a house. I have a job that I like, a new job. So all good on my end. How are you doing? We've been talking about like Taylor Swift and also Eurovision during this. So right now we're talking about Maddie Healy and that whole drama. I just read parts of the open letter that was written to her, and we were rough. Do you hear Lana's new album? Yes, I did. I like it. I actually did buy that on vinyl. Like I don't buy vinyl as much anymore, but I did buy that, and I really like it, and just love her. Yeah, maybe that's the next thing we can do. We can, like, next time we do this, we can talk about it. Yeah, I really liked it. Which variant did I get? Which one did I get? Did I get it from Target? Why can't I remember? I know I have it, but I can't think for some reason. I'll check after this. I'll post it or something. But the pink one. The pink one. I think that's what I got. Do I listen to Snail Mail? No, I don't. Let me look them up. American Indie Rock Band. Oh, from Maryland. Sorry, I live in Virginia, so I like it when people are like somewhat local. To me, I think it's exciting. I will look them up. Very cool. Read any good books lately? Um, Not really. I mean, I've been meaning to get back into reading. Not reading, but I watched the Amazon Prime series adaptation of the books, Daisy Jones and the Six, and I really liked it. I don't know if you've read that book, or even if you haven't, I think you could still really enjoy that series, but highly recommend that. I think it did a good job of like staying true to the book, but being its own thing at the same time. So I really liked it as someone who's read the book, and Wes really liked it as someone who has not. So, book related. I've been trying to read more though. My friend Kelsey is really into reading, and she recommended like four or five different books that I've put on hold at the library. So, when I get them, I will absolutely read them. And then I discovered there's an app called Libby where you can sign in with your library card or something, and then you can just rent audiobooks from them. So that's something I will do for sure. I feel like I am only ever like watching TV or listening to music or whatever. But then when people ask me what media I've been consuming, I'm like, I don't know. I can't remember anything. But I'll look up snail mail for sure. Um, I feel like I don't listen to new music enough anymore. So this will be good. Oh, oh, they're young. I guess 23, not too young, but I don't know. I'm just feeling old lately, I guess. You tried like a few tracks. Not your style. I'll look it up after this. There's the section of a band's Wikipedia page where they say like style and influences, and all the artists she lists are all people I really like. So that's promising for me. Besides that, I really just feel like I haven't listened to any new music. Did I listen to the new Miley album? See, I haven't even listened to that yet. I always get in my head about the first time I listen to an album. Like, I want to sit down and like enjoy it and listen to it fully and read the lyrics along or whatever. But I feel like that's not something I have time to do all the time. But I need to listen to Kesha's new album too, because that just came out, didn't it? Last week. But I haven't listened to it yet. I need to. I love Kesha. And it's interesting to see how her style has evolved over the last few albums. So I'm excited to see how this one in particular is different from her last few. Because High Road was like, I really liked it, but it was definitely pretty different for her. The new few songs were super different. I feel like she's always had that in her and like just wasn't able to put those songs out and release those. So now that she has a little more, High Road was awful for you. That's fair. Although I say I liked it, I think it might have been my least favorite album. But like, I was happy for her that she got to do that. Like, you could tell it was something she wanted to do. But when I was younger, I used to listen to all of Kesha's unreleased tracks, like hundreds. I had hundreds of them on my iPod Shuffle or iPod Touch, whatever it was. And she had so many songs that were like really non-melodic, I guess. So a lot of what she did on High Road didn't surprise me. Some of the newer releases were such a letdown. I remember not liking Selena Gomez's Rare. Yeah, I like Selena's music. But that album was just kind of like nothing stuck with me, I guess, after. I don't know. I'm always like rooting for her. For some reason, I just like her and I like all of her stuff that she does. And I love the TV show she's in, Only Murders in the Building. And I just like all of her stuff. But that album was just kind of eh. You're torn on Selena. Is it because of the like drama as of recent, like the recent drama, or is it because of just other stuff? I don't know what it is about her. I just think she's so pretty and like, oh, the kidney thing. Yeah, I can see that. I know, like, I guess some people were saying like there's other people who have had a kidney donated, like other celebrities, and have had it done twice because they also drink or whatever, and nobody talks about them. But I was like, you know what? Even if we are totally sympathetic towards Selena, 100%, I think her friend has every right to be upset about it. I don't know. Like, I totally get it. If I was in her friend's position, I would also be kind of annoyed and mad at her and all of that. Yeah, I don't know. And that she didn't thank her in that doc. Yeah, see, that's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, Selena doesn't have to say that that person is her best friend or anything. And that's, well, sorry, I can't thank every person I know. Yeah, it, yeah. I think there are much better ways to have handled that. Like, she could have just been like, I'm sorry, I didn't go into it more. Obviously, it's really important to me, and I do thank you, blah, 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 and something else. Like, she could have done something like that, but I don't think she's at her best when she comments on social media. But I don't know. I also just, I don't know. Even the Hailey Bieber stuff, I'm like, yeah, I think Hailey Bieber is kind of weird, but like, who cares that much? We've all been weird at times. Like, it's fine. I don't know. People are so mean to her. People are so mean in general on the internet. Just like I promise Hailey Bieber being kind of weird and a fan of Selena and Justin, it just doesn't matter. Selena seems so vanilla and bland in public, but I bet she's different behind the scenes. My read on her, which is totally based on nothing because I don't know her, but my read on her is that she's like, she and Taylor Swift get along a lot because they're like really shrewd business women, which isn't a criticism or like it's a compliment to a degree, but like I think they know what business they're in and like they're going to try very hard to like control their image because of the business they're in. And I don't blame them for it, but they seem very controlled, I guess, except for Instagram comments for Selena. But not quite related to her personality, but like I love the makeup brand. Taylor seems more real. I think that's because we know so much about Taylor. Like she's put so much of herself out there. Yeah, Selena, I guess when I say I like her, it's really not even about her music. I love her style. I like Only Murders in the Building. I love her cooking show. It's so fun and cute, and I love it. And I love her makeup line. Like Rare Beauty is so good. I've used many of their products, and they're so great. Didn't even know she has a cooking show. It's on HBO. I don't know if it's on HBO in like other countries or whatever, because I know sometimes that can differ. But it's called Selena and Chef, and every single episode she collaborates with like a different professional chef of some kind. And like there's one chef in the DC area who she had on an episode, and he's like known for making donations and being really charitable and stuff. So she's featuring people that I think are cool. And so every episode, the chef in question will send Selena a box of ingredients and they'll get on like Zoom and the chef will teach Selena how to make the food. Like, and it's just cute. Every star seems to do a cooking show at some point. Didn't Paris Hilton have a show too? Yeah, she did. The Selena one, um, but I don't know. The amount of cooking shows is kind of a lot. It's kind of like when every celebrity was making a makeup line, like Fenty and Rare Beauty were like the two that actually were good that I can think of the top of my head. But like, there's some things that are just trends, like ghost kitchens. I don't know if you know about ghost kitchens, but everyone seems to be doing them now, and it's so weird. Like, who is it? Noah Schnapp, is that his name? He has a ghost kitchen, which is so random. The makeup industry stole Rihanna from us. Yeah, she really did just go all in on the makeup, and she did really well with it. Like it's an excellent brand. Like the few products I've tried, I've loved. But then she's like, bye. I don't have time for music anymore. How long has it been since her last album? It's been a minute. I know that. How did you like her Super Bowl? It was pretty good. Um, like it was fine. Um, I like the songs. They sounded good. It was a good selection of songs. The performance was good. But it wasn't like anything that blew me away. But so many like old people were like really upset about it being provocative afterwards, which was kind of funny. So that part was fun. I mean, I guess maybe being like pregnant or something, she didn't want to go too hardcore into the like staging and stuff, but I feel like she could have done more with like maybe the set or the background. She wasn't that pregnant. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she could have done more. And even not her physically doing more. She was never the biggest performer to begin with. That's true as well. Like I would definitely go see her if she toured and I could go. Like I would definitely want to go. But it's not like Beyonce or like Taylor Swift or these people that put on, even Katy Perry, like they put on big shows, like big productions and have all this choreography and all of this, whatever. Like I would 100% go see her, but I wouldn't expect it to be that kind of show. I wish I could go to Beyonce's show. Yeah, it seems like it looks really good. I keep seeing live streams on TikTok of people at Beyonce's show and at Taylor Swift shows. And they both look like such amazing performances. Because, I mean, I don't know that much about Beyonce's, like, definitely not as much as I know about Taylor Swift, but she strikes me as somebody who's like a performer, like, overall. Like, it's not just about like the singing and stuff, it's about like putting on a show. And I respect that. So I would go see her for sure. I just haven't been to many concerts lately, like, at all. Beyonce is a star. Yeah, like, she has that. I don't know if pop star is the right word, but like star quality for sure. Like, I don't know, that whole thing of putting on a big production just isn't as much of a thing for certain artists anymore. Like when I go to a stadium show, I expect it to be like elaborate, and it isn't always, I guess. Like I don't know, Taylor for sure spoiled me with like really exciting shows. But what time is it? I think I have to go actually. But um, why is Same such a big thing for me? What do you mean? Like why uh why I don't go? What did I say? Um, so like I just assume stadium shows are going to be like massive and they're not as easy to get to. Oh, stadium show. Okay, so from my perspective, stadium shows are like much more of a special occasion, I guess. Like typically, most bands that I see are at much smaller venues and clubs and things like that. But when an artist is at a stadium show, it's like huge. It's a whole like events, and it's more expensive, significantly more expensive. And usually they're at like football stadiums, so they're only in like major cities. But I don't know why beyond that. They're just like considered a sign of like a really successful artist too. Why is it more expensive? You'd think it would be less expensive, don't you? Like if you, now that I'm talking about it, I'm like, you'd think that getting 80,000 people in there means you don't have to charge them as much, but no, I don't know. Maybe I'm not defending the prices. They should be cheaper, and it's kind of ridiculous that they're that expensive. But like thinking about the Taylor show, I don't know if it's worth it to pay like $500 for it, but I paid like 100 when I went for the Rep Tour, about 150 for this one. Um, it's a big show. It's like they have this big production and they're able to do like pyro and things like that. Ticketmaster is evil. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why they're all, but I guess not every stadium tour is a Taylor Swift or a Beyonce tour. You know what I mean? Like there's some artists like I think when Katy Perry did a tour, it didn't sell out. It just it wasn't cheap. We don't have them here. Stadiums are so closely associated with like sports too. Like this, I don't know. They're like 80,000 people football stadiums. There's also a hockey stadium here that's a big concert venue that I like a lot more. Um, there's I don't know, there's a lot of controversy with the Washington D.C. football as an American football team, and the owners like so like nobody likes him ever. No one has ever liked this man, and he has just always been an asshole, basically. And he just sold the team, and people are really excited and they like the team again. So people are going to probably go to the stadium and see more games. So I don't know. Taylor skipped that venue though. She will probably tour the rest of the world, right? I can't imagine she wouldn't. Like it's kind of wild to me that she wouldn't. When does this tour end? August. I assume if she's touring the rest of the world soon, um, that she would take like a bit of a break and then go on a like international tour. But it also kind of sucks I mean, I guess other countries are a lot smaller than the US. But what I was going to say is it kind of sucks that it's like US tour dates versus rest of the world tour dates. Like there aren't as many international ones, but I hope she does an international tour. I don't know why she wouldn't. Like I'm sure it's expensive to like take all that stuff around, but like I think she can afford it personally. I think she can eat some of those costs. I hope she does. I can't imagine she wouldn't. Like, even with Loverfest that only had two dates, like there were two East Coast dates and two West Coast dates, then there were still some international ones. Yeah, I know money's not the problem, but like I feel like that's the excuse that gets me because I don't know. It's also up to like ticketing agencies, and I don't know. Ticketmaster sucks, and I'm sure I'm worried about her money. I'm not worried about it. I think that she should spend spend it. I just, as someone who doesn't have a lot of, like, I'm okay. Like, I'm doing better than I've ever done in my life. I'm doing fine financially. As someone who has, not a ton of liquid funds available, it kills me to hear about how much money these people make and just have. I'm like, just make your tour less expensive. I don't know. I mean, I like to think that's what I would do if I was really rich, but I don't know. It's Ticketmaster. Hate Ticketmaster. I can't wait for them to go down. I hope that happens at some point. Yeah, Ticketmaster sucks. I feel like I feel like for a while there was going to be some government intervention in Ticketmaster, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen. We can all only hope, though. All right. actually think I have to get going, but this was really fun. And it was fun to talk about Eurovision and Taylor Swift as always. But the next time we do this, it should be Lana's new album. I feel like we haven't talked about that, and I haven't really thought about it since I listened to it for the first time. So I want to do that. So I'll plan a date. It was great talking to you. I've missed these chats for sure. So I'm nice to I'm nice. It's nice to get back to doing this once in a while. So I'll figure out a date. I'll message you. But it was fun to talk, and I will let you know if I see red blue banisters. I think that's what it was. Right. Yes, that one. At Target. Making them rare makes them special. It also, I feel it means that I can spend more time. Like I have to go because it's a Tuesday, but I'm I'm not like in a rush anymore. But yeah, it was great talking to you. I hope you have a great week or whatever, however long it is until we chat again. And I'll talk to you on Instagram or at some point soon. How do I end this live stream?